Hello, welcome to PlayStation Access. My name's Rob. Joining us today is Rosie.
Hello, everyone.
Who I'm very jealous of because Rosie has just come back from a trip to Japan to play MonsterHunterWilds, which is a game I saw at Summer Game Fest back in June and thought it looked absolutely incredible. But I don't know a great deal about Monster Hunter. I'm always like, I need to jump into this series. Can I do it in MonsterHunterWilds, do you think, Rosie, having played it for however many hours you've played it?
Yeah, so I played it for a good few hours, in all honesty, and I am thrilled to say that, yes, I believe that Monster Hunter Wilds is perfect for newcomers. I actually went into this preview with the mindset of how accessible is this for new players, because, I haven't played all of the Monster Hunter games, so I'm also thinking, it's a big series. There's so many games that have come to the series, and it's got this really fun fighting system. But coming into it, when I went to this preview, I wanted to make sure that everyone who had questions about it, whether they think it's suitable for them, I want to put your minds at ease and say, yes, Monster Hunter Wilds is really great if you've never played a Monster Hunter Wilds game before, and also if you have already played it and you love the franchise, it's just great fun in general.
Well, you're gonna be in there anyway.
The first reason why I think that Monster Hunter Wilds is great for newcomers is because, one of the main things I did see was a new story. So because it's so story focused, you don't need to worry about if you've played other Monster Hunter games. There's a whole new story, and the basic premise of it is that you find a boy who is known as a keeper, and you're trying to find his home and help him out as well, because him and the rest of the keepers were attacked by a monster that was considered extinct called a white wraith. So it's also
let me guess, it's not extinct anymore.
Not anymore. So there's clearly one that's around and about. So you're trying to help this boy find his home, and also whilst looking for this big epic monster that is apparently a legend and it's extinct. So it's really good that you don't need prior knowledge to the games to enjoy this one.
I've selected you as a lead hunter for this expedition.
Thank you, sir.
Another reason why it's brilliant for newcomers is because the developers have really made an effort to make it more accessible for people who are introduced to Monster Hunter. Because the thing is, the developers also want everyone to play Monster Hunter. They're really keen on having new audience members play the game, try it out, and fall in love with the universe. For example, when you start the game, there's something like 14 weapons that you can choose from. And of course, that's a big daunting number when you don't even know what the fights with the monsters are going to be like or the weight of the weapons. So that when you start, you're actually asked a bunch of questions about how you like to fight, your preferences for weapons, whether you like to be nimble and quick or if you like the heavy hitters. So I based my answers pretty much on my Bloodborne character.
Right.
So I was saying how I like a weapon that does big heavy damage, but I can adapt it to different situations depending on my fight. And because of that, I was recommended a weapon and I immediately just trusted them and said, yep, I love that weapon, let's go for it. Had a bit of a training session with a dummy with it, and immediately I was like, yeah, I can definitely see myself using this weapon. So even that feature meant that rather than just looking at 14 weapons thinking, what on earth am I going to pick? I've just been recommended the one, and that's what I used for my whole preview, essentially. But also, when you progress a little bit through the prologue, you'll be told that you can also equip 2 weapons. So one of them you always have on you, and then the other one you'll have on your companion that you can swap as well, depending on the fight and what you want to use as your preference. And also in the base hub area, there's a training area that you can try out weapons and learn how to use them, which is always incredibly handy. And they've also got really clear weak points for monsters. So when you've attacked a certain area enough, if you go into something called focus mode, you can see where you've done a lot of damage, caused a wound, and then if you hold R1 and you're near that area, you'll do a big attack,
right,
which then means that the monster takes huge damage and goes ah for a bit. So not only is it really
and that's
epic,
when you know they're nearly dead.
That's when you know
they start
they're
screaming in agony.
That's when you know you've done big damage. So not only is it really cool to do these really big heavy hitters and you feel clever because you're like, yeah, I've attacked this area enough that now it's got a wound and I'm going to get that wound. It's also, you know, when you go into the fight, you're not just thinking, oh, geez, this is a massive monster. How am I going to do damage to this beast? You're actually going in thinking like, yeah, I've got a good chance. Let's do some big damage on this with these weak points. And also, if you are nervous about fighting the monsters, there are support hunters in the game. So these are NPCs that you can summon in fights to help you not only if you're struggling, but also to give you an idea of multiplayer, because multiplayer, I think, is a big thing in Monster Hunter, and we only played the single player. But there's going to be people who, you know, when you come to a popular series and you're thinking, oh, I don't know if I should go online, if I'm going to hold the team back because they're all going to know what they're doing, be experienced, and I'm just the rookie who doesn't know what they're doing. So these NPCs, I mean, they're really great in battle in general. Like, I won't lie, I summoned them on the 2 final fights that we did just to have that camaraderie and see what it was like, and they were a huge help, absolutely huge.
Just to see what it was like.
Yes, and also
you needed the help, Rosie, don't lie.
There was one monster I did need the help with, yes. But I was absolutely fine summoning them. They came to my aid. We all worked together. And it also gave me a good feel of how the multiplayer would work. Even if it's something like when you're fighting alongside them, what sort of battle strategy should I do? Or am I being the most optimal I could be to help my teammate out? So it's really good to get a feel for how the multiplayer works. And they also show you things like how you can use environmental traps and stuff. So like using them is just great to essentially help you in the fight, learn how you can optimize the battle, and learn how you could work with other real life players, so that when you do decide to delve into the multiplayer, you're there thinking, yeah, I'm going to be the best for my team and I'm not going to be feeling like I hold anyone back. I'm ready for this hunt.
Does this look bad to you?
And like I said, I summoned these NPCs, these support hunters, because there was one fight which I was struggling with a little bit at the end. And I also learned from struggling was that it's okay to die, because
No,
I was...
it's not. No.
It is, Rob, it is, because when you die, you get dragged away from the battle and you've got 3 attempts to go immediately back into the fight. So you get dragged away, taken back to your base camp, where you can then get some new provisions or upgrade your weapons and your gear if you feel that maybe there's environmental elements that you didn't consider or didn't know was going to be a thing. So you can swap your gear, go into your tent and see what's in your storage, because I won't lie, I completely forgot I had mega potions in my tent. So I kept on running into this fight thinking I've got no mega potions, and that's why I kept on dying a lot. It wasn't until then, after the 3rd time I died, that's when the game considers it a quest failure. So that's when you get the thing that says quest fail. However, even then, it's still okay, because I thought, oh, I'm going to have to do the whole fight again. This was a big epic fight with multiple stages. I'm going to have to, oh no. However, it essentially reloaded from where the last checkpoint was, so where the beast decided to move location. So I went back into there. That's when I summoned the NPCs, but rather than the boss already being like, I'm really weak, it was still weak, but at the starting weak point from that section. So I felt really good about that, and then once I went back in there, summoned the NPCs, we got the beast, and I felt really proud. The final reason I want to talk about why I think this game is perfect for Monster Hunter newcomers is because it's simply a great time. I genuinely had a really, really good time with it. It's so detailed. For example, I had an interview when I was talking to the director after my preview, and he said that one of his favorite new elements of the game is that he saw a herd of monsters just walking around, and he was curious about what would happen if I just follow these monsters. So he followed them for ages, saw one of them stop, And then he was like, why have they stopped? Why has this monster just stopped and then followed the herd? And it was because the monster had a Wii, and and the director did not know that this was an element that the game designers put in. So he was so thoroughly surprised that this monster just has, like, the world just feels so alive, because we've had poo in the Monster Hunter games before, but now they're urinating as well. It's like, it's all coming together.
Welcome to the next generation of Monster Hunter. Poo and Wii.
And Wii now.
Well, I remember seeing elements at Summer Game Fest where you literally watch the life cycle of some hatchlings. Like, you could watch a bird's nest and the eggs would hatch and the birds would grow up and then fly away. So you've got all of these actual ecosystems going on in the background if you care to look.
And that's the thing, they've really focused on the ecosystem of the world so that it all feels interconnected, so that it all feels like you're genuinely part of the world. Like you said, you've just seen a monster go from a hatchling to flying off, and also the NPCs that are in the base camp, they've all got their own little details. Like, there's one character who apparently has sweets in, like, her side bags and side pockets because she's so busy, she doesn't have a lot of time for a full-on meal, so she has all these little sweets that she'll just eat away in the base camp. The Palicos in the base as well. I didn't get to do this, but apparently you can play with them in the base camp as well. The monsters are incredibly detailed and varied in their designs and how they fight, so you're always on your toes thinking, okay, what's the optimal strategy I'm going to take for this? The world is lovely to explore. Like I've said, they've really made an effort in making it all feel interconnected, so that, for example, your base camp, rather than you complete a mission and then you just go from, or you're just about to do a mission and you're like, oh, I'm just sort of spawning from here to there. When you start a mission, you can leave your base camp and fully traverse over there. So you're fully going in on the adventure. It all feels interconnected. All the worlds are beautiful. We ran through, like, a desert area and also a bit of a forest. And when I got into the forest, there was a section where I could just climb a bunch of trees. And it was so much fun just climbing the trees, jumping from platforms, and also being on the ground and just seeing the beautiful world. So I really, really enjoyed that. And also, like, just in terms of the details, when you go to your base camp, they've even got, they've got everything you need there, but they've even got a document that shows you all the monsters you've slayed, and those show you the monsters' weak points, what's breakable, what items you can get from them, so that if you do want to get some new ingredients and items in order to upgrade your gear, because upgrading and improving is a big thing in Monster Hunter, then you can just literally just run into the world and just do a little grinding session, have a little explore, and then come back and think, hey, I'm gonna, change my gear. And also the gear's got, like, 2 different designs, so I was very happy when I slayed one beast and I could have a massive hat with a massive feather. So I was very happy and I loved this hat, and it was great seeing my character in the cutscenes still wearing the outfit that I chose for them, and just seeing them in the cutscene with this massive hat, it brought me great joy. So those are 5 reasons why I think that newcomers will love Monster Hunter Wilds. Honestly, I had such a brilliant time with it, and this is coming from someone who hasn't played a lot of Monster Hunter in the past.
Yeah.
So genuinely, if you're thinking about trying out Monster Hunter, I highly recommend it. They're great fun, really good games, and this is ideal for introducing you to the world of Monster Hunter.
I'm in the same boat as you, Rosie. I've not played too much Monster Hunter, but for me it's always been about looking cool and jumping on the backs of massive monsters.
Oh, it feels great when you jump on the backs of the monsters.
Tussling around for, like, half an hour sometimes. And I always love how you don't get boss arenas in this game. The world is the arena.
Yeah.
And you can just lead them anywhere, sometimes into the nest of another monster.
And they fight
you've got
each
2
other.
monsters having a fight against each other. Oh, I love it.
I fully had that when there was 2 monsters fighting each other, and I just thought, I'm just going to let you do your thing for a bit.
I will pick off the winner.
Yeah, and even when I was fighting one monster, the one that I was struggling with, I saw in the distance there was another fight happening between 2 other monsters, and I fully, my NPCs the support hunters were fighting away, and I just thought, yeah, you guys have got him, I'm just going to watch this random fight over here happening, because it was great. It was so wonderful, and you should all make sure you check it out, because it comes out on PS5 on February the 28th, so what a treat for the new year as well.
What a treat. Well, thank you very much, Rosie. I am now both jealous and incredibly excited. I as I said, I saw this at Summer Game Fest, and it was I thought it was incredible, the demo I saw. So it's definitely one I've got my eye on. Let us know in the comments if you're excited about Monster Hunter Wild, if you're going to be picking it up on release on February the 28th. Do give us a like if you've enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to make sure you never miss out on anything from the world of PlayStation. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you again soon.